Right now we're in 2024 and a lot's going on. So I wanted to check in with you and chat with you about cost of living in Charlottesville, Virginia. Whether you're considering moving here to get closer to family, whether you're considering moving here to get away from family, no judgment, whether you're considering just moving here for a better quality of life or maybe a job. All of those phenomenal reasons, and I want to make sure that you're prepared with your bottom line. So come on, let's go. Jumping right into it, the biggest line item on our books is always going to be housing costs. And it's the number one thing that I hear, see, and everything else, especially as a realtor who works with so many that are buying, selling, relocating to our area. It really is the number one thing I hear about. Always a hot topic, and normally it's on the complaint side. But last month, and remember, we're mid-year right now, so the median sales price is going to be over $486,000. And that's a lot of money. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you are a millionaire, a billionaire. That is a lot of money. It is still very much a seller's market across most of the country, but definitely here in the Charlottesville area. Due to low inventory and general demand, we've seen a huge influx in new construction, but even that is being gobbled up so quickly that the prices are continuing to rise. To give you an example, it used to be that you would need to be in your house for years, and you could never guarantee it, but you could be in your house 3, 4, 5 years before it was expected that you would not have to write a check at closing when you sold your house. Now I'm helping people sell that just bought their house a couple of years ago, and they're actually coming away with a profit. So the housing market is very, very hot, and it's continuing to rise here. For renters, looking at a single bedroom apartment starting at about $1,600 a month, one bedroom. And honestly, probably not the most fabulousness. Please remember, a lot of rents that I'm seeing, especially in single family homes, I'm seeing rents go between $3,000 and $5,000 for a single family home. This is also a great time to remind you, I don't do rentals, but I do love helping you. And I know quite often, and I think it is a brilliant idea, especially if you're moving from out of the area into the Charlottesville community, to look at renting for at least a couple of months, maybe 3, 6, 9, 12 months before figuring out the best area and best fit for you. Give me a call, shoot me an email, drop me a text, and let's see how I can help you with living in Charlottesville. Next big line item, utilities, right? You got your housing, you got your mortgage / rent, whatever it is. Next item is going to be utilities. Here's what I want to tell you. On average, again, this is average, because again, every house is going to be different. I might like it at 70 degrees overnight, and you might be liking it at 76. So our electric bills are going to be very, very different. On average, you're looking at about $120, $125 for electricity per month. That's normally going to be your heating and cooling. You're looking at about $30 for water, garbage, about another $25. So overall, you're probably looking around $175 to $200 a month for utilities. But there are some bonuses for that as well. If you live where you have a well, you don't have a water bill. And honestly, the water quality here, very, very good. I was just actually reading a Reddit thread that somebody said their water out of the tap tasted like it had been through double Brita filters. And he said, I don't think y'all realize how good your water is here. It really, and everybody chimed in. So I'm getting off on a tangent, but we have good water. So if you buy a place with a well, don't feel like it's a downgrade, because whether it's public water or well water. Normally it's a very, very good quality. Anyways, okay, moving on. The other part of utilities, internet. So internet, on average, I'm going to say is about $75 to $100 a month. We have the full gamut, everything from really shitty satellite to fiber internet. This is a part of your livelihood, a part of your everyday living is good internet. We need to keep that in mind when we're searching for you. You're not going to be able to live out in the middle of nowhere and expect to have fiber internet. Although we're seeing it more and more because a lot of the counties are getting grants to put fiber internet in. But if you're out in an outlying area where it's you sitting on 5 acres, you're not probably going to have fiber internet. You're probably going to have a satellite, and it's going to suck. So we need to know that before we put you out there. Anyways, again, back off a tangent, but we need to know utilities, about $200. Internet's going to be about another $100. Next on our line item is transportation. This is a big one, right? If you use public transportation, remember it's going to be limited. So that is something we also need to keep in mind when we're looking for your new home living in Charlottesville. The transportation is fine. It is reliable. Okay, that's a big one. And I think it's very affordable. If you're connected with the University of Virginia, it's also even more affordable. If you are going to be driving, that is another big expense that you need to recognize. So right now, the good news is gas, I just filled up at Costco yesterday, and it was $3.05 a gallon. So I think that's very, very reasonable. I think that's a good price. But then you have to remember, well, you have to have the car to put it in. You have to fill it up. You have to maintain your car. You have to register your car. You have to do all that. So that's all part of that overall line item budget. The other thing that many people forget, you're going to need to pay for parking, no tolls. We have 0 zip tolls. But if you work downtown or at the university, you're going to have to pay for parking. That in itself could be another $50 to $150 a month. So keep that in mind when we're thinking about where you want to live when living in Charlottesville. Number 4 on our list is actually groceries. So the good news about this is grocery bill for a single person. Honestly, you're probably looking at about $400 per month. We run just under the national average. So that is good. We also have a lot of access, and it's encouraged to grow a lot of food or to be a part of a farm share or to utilize the farmers markets, all that. But the other part of it is general food costs can be a little bit higher depending on where you shop. We have over 25 grocery and specialty stores. So honestly, you can tweak this again to meet your budget. We have Aldi, we have Walmart, Supercenters. So that's going to be on one end of the spectrum. And then we're going to have Whole Foods. We're going to have Foods of All Nations. We're going to have both spectrums. So we have the full gamut. Kroger's, Foods of All Nation, Giant, Food Lion, Feast. I mean, we have a ton of options. So you can tweak it to what you need. And this is why you need to give me a call. I have grown up here. I'm a top agent for buying, selling, and relocating. And I want to make sure that we look at where the best fit for you is. I recently, 2 of my clients actually, that was one that's on their top must-have. Access to Trader Joe's and access to Whole Foods. Fabulous. That narrows out a lot of things. That means you're not going to be going out to Nelson County. That means you're probably not going to be going out to Madison. Honestly, that also means you're probably not going to be going over the mountain into Waynesboro. Think about how you want to live and what the lifestyle is you want for you and whoever you're living with. Next line item. Okay, we've already talked about rent. We've talked about utilities. We've talked about our gas and travel and food. So what's next? medical care. Right now, I would say on average, if you have a health plan, a group health plan through an employer, you're probably looking at somewhere between $400 and $700, depending if you're doing a single person or if you are looking to cover your entire family. That would be for a group health plan. So for example, you're working at the University of Virginia, you get health coverage for the whole family. They're going to take out, we'll just say $600 every 2 weeks to pay for that. That's a chunk of change. You need to make sure you keep that in context. If you're like me, so in my case, because I am considered an independent contractor, I have to buy my own insurance from the Virginia marketplace. So here's my feedback on that. I think those plans are outrageously expensive, and I think they're limited in scope. So whereas many places you might have 25 options, 25 providers, when I look and I'm making my selection for the year from the Virginia marketplace, I feel like we have 3 providers, and then we have the different levels of service. So bronze, gold, platinum. To give you an idea, I come in because I'm relatively healthy, right? I don't go to the doctor a lot. I don't have a lot of stuff going on. So I come in at I think they call it a bronze level. But you know what? It costs me $600 a month to have that coverage and that plan. That is not for dental. That does not include eye care. So those you may also get with your group plan, which is kudos to that. But healthcare can be a major line item. What do the prescriptions and doctor visits? I would say if you're looking at stopping in to see your primary care physician, most of the time you're looking at between $50 and $100. If you're paying out of cash, you're probably looking at between $100 and $200. So we have access to great health care, access to insurance, but do know it can be very pricey. And from my experience, it can be limited as well. Education comes swinging in next, because depending if you're the one being educated or if it's your, if it's your 2-legged or quite honestly your 4-legged, whoever is getting an education. Education is considered a priority here in and around the area. So I will tell you this. Overall, for families, the cost of an education can also take a chunk out of the budget. Overall, honestly, I think and I'm even thinking about the different areas, because most people don't live in Charlottesville, but everything from Louisa to Green to out, we overall have, in my opinion, phenomenal schools. You can go check out bestschools.com, check out where to live for best schools. Check out whatever you need to, but then make sure that you're putting it all together. Because what I have learned with my own child was one education is not a be-all, do-all, one size fits all. And what I mean by that is because of our living situation, because of our work situation, we actually started my daughter in a private Christian school, and she thrived, absolutely thrived. Then we put her into public school, and she thrived there as well. And then due to some other things, we began homeschooling at the middle school level. And when I say we, I mean her and the programs that I connected her with. This did not homeschool her. That's probably why she's so fabulous and brilliant. She's actually an attorney up in DC. But every education for each child is going to be different. And I think that's one of the big bonuses with our schools, that most of them are not so overcrowded that it's a be-all, do-all. So there is room to help on each different level, whether your child needs extra attention for math or whether your child is reading at a 9th grade level in the 2nd grade. I think our schools accommodate that. Now, we do have private schools, we do have a phenomenal homeschool support system here. So again, you have the full options depending on what you do, where you go, how you attend. That's going to be a line item on your budget. And on that note, if you want to know more, check out my other video, the top private schools in the area, and also about the schools, the top neighborhoods for schools in the area. That may give you some additional insight. Number 7, entertainment and leisure. Okay, so really this is just going to depend on entertainment is what it is. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean by that is if you must be constantly entertained, yes, we can accommodate that, but it's going to cost you. Yes, we have movies. Movie tickets run about $12. Yes, we have bowling. Yes, we have escape rooms. Yes, we have pools and playgrounds that are public, so you're not going to get charged. If you go for a hike, there's no fee in that. So if you're utilizing the skate park, no fee in that. We have a whole gamut. But if you're going to be horseback riding, or if you're going to take up fly fishing, those are probably things that you're going to be looking at, adding in some cost to your bottom dollar. But we have the full gamut. There's plenty of free and low cost activities, and there's plenty to go up and spend as much money as you want. And here's the other thing with it, quite honestly, even if it's not everything here in Charlottesville, Richmond, DC, Virginia Beach, those can all be day trips. So if you're like, girl, I have got to see the ocean. Cool. You're about 3 hours away from the ocean front. Do it. Go do you. Drive down there in the morning, sit there, look at the ocean, refocus, recenter yourself, and then come on home. It can be done. Full gamut. Of course, that's going to cost you gas as well. And FYI, gas in Virginia Beach is more expensive. I think it was. When I lived in Virginia Beach, it was more expensive. Anyways, okay. So lots of options, entertainment and leisure. Number 8, taxes. Taxes is definitely because taxes show up on your pay stub. Well, most. I don't get taxes out of mine. I actually have to write a check, a big check, 4 times a year. And anyways, we're not going to go down that aisle. Taxes for Virginia. Here's what you're looking at. You're looking at a state income tax. Make sure you recognize that, because I know several of states do not do a state income tax. Virginia does do a state income tax dependent on your income. You're looking at real estate taxes in Charlottesville, to give you an idea, because each municipality has different taxes, real estate taxes. Currently, I want to say City of Charlottesville runs just under like 98 cents per $100 of value, which is actually much lower than many areas of the United States. Personal property tax is something we have to pay here in Virginia. Twice a year, personal items such as cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, anything that you have purchased and you're using, that's a large line item like that. The state bills you, and you have to pay it in June. I just paid this bill actually, June and December. So all of those you need to keep in mind. Number 9 on our list, and I probably should have bumped this up with education, because traditionally you're going to be going from one to the other. But number 9 on our list is going to be child care cost. So if your child is not well, honestly, it doesn't matter, because you may have child care costs until your child is whatever age that you deem they don't need child care costs. For families with young children, child care, and honestly, I know it is also a sought after. So there's definitely a trying to get into the right program, and almost to the point of it's not bidding, it's not lottery, but it's being at the preschool at 8 a.m. the first day they're taking applications, kind of thing. Does that make sense? Many daycare costs are well over $1,300 a month. So for some, that's actually that's almost a mortgage. In my honest opinion, I don't know how many of you youngers deal with these kind of things, because these prices, they blow my mind, and I've come up through these prices. If you are looking at a daycare situation, though, you're looking at probably $1,300 and up per child. Now, the other end of that would be, well, maybe you'll just do a nanny or a nanny share. To give you an idea, in our area, according to a website I saw, currently in our I think it was care.com maybe, childcare nanny services per child are averaging $19 going upwards of $26 per child per hour. Keep that in mind, because that's just a conversation between you and your budget and whoever else is in your household. I remember babysitting for like $2 an hour. And yeah, now granted, I was like 11. And well, it is what it is. But $19 to $26 per hour per child. And I don't think it would be $19 child one, $19 child two. It could be, but the starting rate is $19 to $26. You're looking at over $1,300 if you're doing a group daycare situation. We've come down our list. Bing, 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 bing. And what's at the bottom of every list? Bottom of every budget? Miscellaneous expenses, right? I can't give you a number for those. Because again, it depends. It depends on your lifestyle. It depends on your needs. It depends on your likes, your dislikes. It depends on all of that. But do keep in mind your miscellaneous expenses. Services such as haircuts, nails, clothing, veterinary care, all of those are going to be so individually oriented that I can't really give you that. I will tell you those items on average are normal here. I go get my pedicure for $25. I don't do any kind of major pedicure. I don't do dip or anything like that. I just do a standard pedicure so my feet don't look like talons all summer long. And it's like $25. When I get my hair cut, it runs about $35 to $45. When I get a massage, I'm looking at about $100 to $150, depending on what kind of massage I'm getting. It just varies. When I go to the veterinarian with one of my pups, on average, I would say I'm looking at, if I have to get shots, no meds, just shots, nails, how's he doing, how's she doing? On average, that's running about $50 to $75 per pup. But it all is going to be dependent on you. But keep that line item for you. There you go. We've wrapped up 2024. What to expect for cost of living if living in Charlottesville, Virginia. You know what? Charlottesville, Virginia hits so many and gets so many awards and talks about this and talks about that. And most of them, in my opinion, are really stupid awards, but whatever. If you're living here, it's about your quality of life. It's about making sure this is what a good fit for you, and living in Charlottesville is the best. Charlottesville offers a high quality of life. With that, costs are generally moderate. Overall, some are a little bit more, some are a little bit less. And in average, they're going to come out to the standard. So keeping that in mind, make sure that you reach out to me first so we can chat. Text me, email me, call me. I would love to talk with you about living in Charlottesville. If there's something that you would like to know more about, drop a comment below. Check out some of my other videos. I've talked about a lot of the area around here. Some of those may be a better fit. Some of those have a cheaper cost of living. That might be a better, because then you're still within 15 to 30 minutes of Charlottesville. So reach out, let me know what you want to know more about, and I would love if you would hit the subscribe button and give me a thumbs up so that I know somebody is watching and so that you don't miss any new content. So while Charlottesville's housing costs may be a little bit higher, most of our stuff is going to really overcompensate for it. So reach out to me if you have any questions and if I can help you with living in Charlottesville. I'll talk to you soon.